In this video, we're going to walk through how to create a new user role inside of Monolith. First thing we're going to do is go into the left-hand menu here, and under the Organization tab, we're going to click on Team Management. So here we can see a few users assigned to our 3 default roles inside of Monolith. But to create a new role, we're going to click into the Roles tab here at the top. So again, here you can see our 3 default roles we have here. And if we open up the flyout menu by clicking on these arrows next to any of these, it's going to open up the flyout menu, give us a few details about that role. But more importantly, if we click into the Permissions tab here we can see what all this role has access to. So you can see we've got some case access, some client access, some evidence access. Anything that is toggled on, which shows blue, means they have access to that particular permission set. Anything that is toggled off like this, that means they do not have access. Now on these default roles, you may have noticed this note here at the top, but these cannot be edited. But the reason that you can see this is because if you wanted to create a role that kind of has a similar permission base, but maybe a little more access, for example, this lets you kind of look at this as a reference so you can set up that new role with this information plus whatever other permissions you want to give to that particular new role that you're creating. So that's actually what we're going to do in this example. So I'm going to click out of this and click on Add New User Role here at the top left. And let's say I want to make a basic user, but who actually has chain of custody access. Try to be as descriptive as possible when you're entering in the description, because this is going to appear in the drop-down menu for adding a new user after this role is created. So we'll just say this is basic user access plus COC actions. And we'll click create role. Okay, so our role is created now, but there's another very important step we have to take before we assign anybody to this role. So if we click on this, the arrows to open the flyout menu again, and click on permissions, you'll notice that nothing is toggled on yet. So very important that when you're creating a new user role, that you make sure to go in and toggle on everything you want this person to have, or this role to have access to. Otherwise, they will get into Monolith and not have access to what they're supposed to have access to. So let's go down the list here, and I'm just going to toggle on the stuff that a basic user has access to. I'm also going to toggle on these chain of custody actions because that's kind of our custom role differentiator that we're setting up here. And some evidence permissions. And we just need to turn on storage items. Okay, so now I've got all my permissions toggled on that I want for this particular role. And this autosaves, so as soon as you have that set up the way you want, you can just X out of it. And if we go back to the Users tab now, and open up the Add New User modal, here in the drop-down under User Role, now we can see our new user. So just a helpful way to kind of give you more control over what kind of permissions different roles have access to within your Monolith tenant. And if we go back to the roles here as well, if you decide that maybe you don't want this role to have access to something it previously had access to, all you have to do is come back in here and toggle off. Let's say we don't want them to be able to delete. All you have to do is toggle it off, and that will update that permission set for you. And that is how to create a new user role inside of Monolith. Thanks for watching.